So at WWE Backlash, the match between Edge and Randy Orton is being booked as the greatest wrestling match of all time, which is open to interpretation from a lot of different people as to what the greatest professional wrestling match of all time is. Ric Flair tweeted that he thinks himself and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is the greatest professional wrestling match of all time. A lot of people think that Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3 is the greatest professional wrestling match of all time. And there's one common denominator in those last two matches, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. But it got me thinking, what is the greatest professional wrestling match I ever saw? And I mean like in person, on TV, anything. A few matches jump into mind. The first one that jumps to my mind is Owen Hart versus Bret the Hitman Hart at WrestleMania 10. Easily, in my opinion, the greatest opening match in the history of any WrestleMania. What a fantastic matchup that was between the two Canadian boys, Bret and Owen. It's just, if you haven't seen that match, if you're a new fan to pro wrestling, go back and watch it. It's from whenever WrestleMania 10 was, March or April 1994 from Madison Square Garden. Probably March. There's been a couple WrestleManias in April, but it was probably March 1994, WrestleMania 10. I love that match. Another match is a match that not a lot of people know or have seen. It's a 2 out of 3 falls matchup between Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero from ECW. I believe it was both of their last matches in ECW. And if you haven't seen that match, it's fantastic. It might be a little harder to find. It may be on the network. I'm not sure. I have it on either a DVD or a VHS. It was I can't even remember what it was called. It was like, I want to say it was a Best of ECW, but like released by ECW before ECW went out of business. So it's probably on a VHS tape that I have somewhere over there. I'll look that up. If any of you guys want to know what tape that match is on, drop a comment below and I will let you know how you can see that match if it's not on YouTube or on the WWE network. It was their last ECW appearance, 2 out of 3 falls. Fantastic match. Another match that comes to mind from the 2003 Royal Rumble, Chris Benoit, I know, Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle. That match, in a straight-up wrestling match, is mind-blowing. It often gets overlooked because it wasn't on a big show like WrestleMania, but it stole the show at the 2003 Royal Rumble. Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. Trust me, if you haven't seen, I'm going to say this about all of them. If you haven't seen that match, check it out. Now, there's been a lot of classic Bret Hart matches, a lot of classic Kurt Angle matches, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, who in my opinion is one of the greatest of all time. Went way too soon. That guy was so good. It was funny because when he was in WCW, I wasn't a fan for some reason. When he came to WWE, it exploded for me. Then I went back and watched his ECW stuff or his WCW stuff, and I was like, wow, what was I thinking? This guy was amazing the whole time. I don't know what it was. It was something about him, maybe seeing him more because I wasn't a WCW guy. I did watch it, but not like I watched WWE growing up. But okay. Oh, and then there's Rock Austin, WrestleMania 17. A lot of people think that is the greatest WrestleMania main event and the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. But okay, my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. It's open to interpretation. But what I think is the greatest wrestling match of all time is from WrestleMania 25. The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Their first WrestleMania encounter. I thought the one at WrestleMania 26 was amazing as well, but their match at WrestleMania 25, in my opinion, is not only the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, but it's the greatest professional wrestling match of all time. At least that I've ever seen, in my opinion, for what I enjoy in a wrestling match, that is easily the best. I felt so bad watching that match for Randy Orton and Triple H. knowing that their match was going to be fantastic as well, but there was absolutely no way those guys were going to follow that. And that's not a knock on Hunter and Triple H, two of the best ever. There's nobody in any era at any time that could have followed Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. If you haven't seen that match, if you're a newer fan within the last few years, WWE Network, WrestleMania 25, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, right now. Go do it. And then watch those other matches I mentioned as well. But I'm interested to know, what do you think is the greatest professional wrestling match of all time? What's your favorite professional wrestling match of all time? Drop a comment below wherever you're watching this, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, obviously. I don't know why that's the last one. But yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment below wherever you're watching this, and let me know what you think, or at least what your favorite wrestling match of all time is. Thanks for watching, guys.